We tend to just kind of stereotype and throw everybody into a group. It's just kind of the way that our minds work. We just say, oh, everybody this way is this way. It's just the way it is. And I find this a lot in America, especially between Republicans and Democrats. We have the right and we have the left. So if somebody on the right disagrees with somebody on the left, or let's say somebody on the right disagrees with somebody on the right, and somebody overhears this, then they must be on the left. And it's this absurd belief that people kind of automatically categorize people in, where if you disagree with one thing, like let's say about Trump, or you agree about something about Trump, oh, you must be either left, or you must be, if you agree, then you must be right. And then you all of a sudden, by that same token, you accept all of this bullshit. And it eliminates the ability for people to sit on the fence, because if you look at the way that the nominations are going so far, is that we have two candidates, in my opinion, who are god awful. They are probably the worst pick I've seen since I've been voting. I don't like either one of them. Each one of them has characteristics that I can see would be beneficial, and then there are things that I can see in both candidates which are a detriment. So there are things that I can appreciate about each candidate, and there are things that I cannot appreciate about each candidate. And just because people agree with one certain political issue does not mean that they automatically accept all the other ones. And people call this sitting on the fence. And I posted up on Facebook about this, but I'm glad that people are sitting on the fence. What that means is you are willing to look at both sides of the issue and not just go with the flow and jump onto the bandwagon and join the left or join the right. It is understanding that this whole concept of left and right is nothing but division anyway. It's really stupid. There are things in this world that people are for, and there are things in this world that people are against. And I'm glad that people are for or against. And if somebody is for something, then if somebody is against it and they come at odds, rather than fighting over it and flaming each other and yelling and calling each other names, they can come down and argue their points about why it's good or why it's bad. And it is a healthy way of discourse. Confrontation, discourse, discussion, these things do nothing but strengthen your character and strengthen the other person's character. And questioning things and looking at things from another perspective will actually help to build and reinforce what it is that you believe, because you are willing to dissect your own opinions and are open to other people's opinions. And when you are open to other people's opinions, when you reject another opinion, you have reasons why you're rejecting it. You're not just rejecting it because, oh, well, you're a Republican, so I'm going to reject all that you have to say. No, you're going to say, I reject that because of this. If we did implement that policy, this, and this would happen. So it actually is strengthening your own position, and it's actually a good thing. Aristotle was, I believe it's Aristotle. I'll look it up and put it down below. But Aristotle went around and questioned everything. He would go up to people and just start discussing them and start getting into philosophical debates, really, and question people's beliefs. And then they would say, well, I believe because of this. And then he would say, well, why do you believe because of that? And so on and so on and so forth. When he got to the point of the people who were in charge of the the gods at that time, because these were pagan gods at that time, and he challenged those beliefs, they felt that he was trying to overthrow them or somehow make their beliefs seem false in the eyes of the people. And so they actually jailed him for it and then forced him to drink hemlock, and he died. But that was not his intention. His intention was to challenge their beliefs. They took it as an attack, and they did not want to challenge their own beliefs, and so they got rid of him. So this is a video that I'm going to share with you that talks about how we tend to follow the herd. So I hope you enjoy this video.
To answer that question, we set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is. You might be thinking you'd never go along with this. Or would you? After just 3 beeps, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. But what happens if we take the group away?
Elaine, please.
Okay, now she's alone. The crowd is gone and nobody is watching her, except our hidden cameras. What do you think she'll do? She's now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there. Now, watch what happens when we introduce another outsider who doesn't know the rules.
For a new appointment.
Have a seat and they'll be out in just a couple minutes.
Great,
thanks so much.
Everybody was doing it, so I thought I was supposed to.
Think she'll teach the new guy what to do? We kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived. And slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room. Here to explain what's going on in their brains is Jonah Berger of the University of Pennsylvania.
This sort of internalized form of herd behavior is part of what we call social learning. Starting at a very early age, when we see members of our group perform a task, our brains literally reward us for following in their footsteps.
When I saw everybody stand up, I felt like I needed to join them. Otherwise, I'm like excluded. Once I decided to go with it, then I felt much more comfortable.
Conformity is how we become socialized, but it can also cause us to develop bad habits or repeat past wrongs.
And it's why even this rebel, who wasn't standing for any of this nonsense, eventually joined the ranks. And the only thing more shocking than seeing how easily conformity affects the way you act is that similar forces are subconsciously shaping the way you think.
So thank you so much. I hope I talked about a couple of good topics to really sort of get some kind of a dialogue going. And I'm always willing to discuss things in my comments section about beliefs, ideas, philosophy, whatever it is, as long as you keep it relatively respectful. I mean, obviously, if you throw in curse words or whatever to flavor or pepper the conversation, I don't mind that. But if you get to a point where you're just kind of, it's just baseless attacks and it has no real merit to it or no benefit to it, then I'm probably going to delete your comment and block you. But it's not because I don't agree with your position and your belief. I actually disagree with the way that you are approaching it, and there's no need to throw in any kind of anecdotal or subjective crap into that. I respond much more positively to objective and concrete evidence. So, anyhow, this has been Lai Loken. Thank you so much, and blessed be.
Ha 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 ha!